At Education Support, we believe that better well-being leads to better education. This short video is designed to help you to support your staff when feelings of fear, anxiety, worry or doubts begin to cloud their thinking and overwhelm them emotionally. As a school leader, you have a vast array of skills and knowledge. You are a strategic thinker, data analyst, pedagogy designer, financial manager, people leader, motivator, the list goes on. Above all, you care passionately about learning, your community and your pupils. You very often put your team and others before yourself, giving time and energy to keep others going. Whether it's a build-up to inspection, a staff member struggling with a colleague, or somebody dealing with something personal impacting on their work, you want to help people, and very often take the role of problem solver. But in reality, when it comes to supporting staff who are experiencing fear, anxiety, worry or doubts, it can be hard to know where to start. Often it's the simple things that matter: making space, listening, communicating. In this video, we'll focus on an approach intended to soothe and calm staff members in the moment and help you to empower them to make their own decisions while still showing that they are cared for and understood by you. Alongside this video, we've designed a toolkit full of tips, techniques and exercises which can also be used with your team. We'll share the link to that at the end of the video. We are all unique. As a school leader, you know this. Individuals in your team will react and respond to stress and pressure in a variety of ways. Where some are motivated, driven and energized by it, others may become overwhelmed. For some team members, they may experience panic, which may be seen visibly in their physical actions. For others, they may withdraw, become quieter and perhaps invisible, and this may be harder to spot. Whatever the reaction or response, these are all coping mechanisms triggered by a stress response to a perceived threat. So, what can you do? Take a moment and imagine a member of staff coming to you in a state of need. They share that they are struggling. How might you feel? What might be your inner reaction? It may trigger a stress response in you, or perhaps you may feel some mild irritation that you now have to deal with this. Or, like many school leaders, you may feel the need to solve the problem, to take it from the staff member and take the problem onto your shoulders. After all, that is the quick solution. But what if you didn't do this? What if you just held the moment with compassion? Firstly, if approached in a corridor or on the way to a meeting, you cannot handle that situation then and there, however tempted you may be. You could just help them pause for a few seconds, slowing them down and have ready, reassuring responses such as, "Okay, I can see you really need to discuss this and I will help. Could we meet at this time?" Or, "This is important. I want to give you quality time to discuss this. Could we meet at this time?" This reassures the team member, frees you to carry on, and also gives you time to gather your thoughts. Now, back to holding the moment. When you do meet, you may feel the need to problem solve. Try to see if you can hold back from that approach initially. Avoid rushing to questions such as, "What are you going to do about this?" or "What can I do to help?" When in a place of panic or overwhelm, the problem-solving part of the brain shuts down and you simply can't think straight. This is why it's important not to rush into problem-solving and to ground yourself first, as you can't see the wood for the trees. It may be helpful to look at the toolkit and use an approach we call emotion coaching. Step 1. Recognize what is happening in your body. Empathize with yourself. Be kind to yourself in your thoughts and attitude. Pay attention to your breathing to calm and ground yourself. Step 2. Validate your emotional place and feelings. It's okay to feel what you feel. Step 3. Set limits on your response, remembering your own boundaries and not taking on problems that are perhaps not yours to solve. Take your time. Step 4. Once you have regained balance and calm, you now move to problem solving. Once you have grounded yourself, just listen to your colleague. Perhaps start by asking a very open question such as, "Why don't you start by telling me what's happening with you?" And just listen. If they pause, don't jump in. Wait, see if they start to talk again. If they don't, perhaps ask, "What else is happening with you?" Take the conversation slowly, perhaps slowing your own speech if theirs is quick and fast. Reassure them when the time comes that you have listened, perhaps saying, "Can I just check I have understood what you're telling me?" Then repeat back to them, without changing anything, what you have heard. This reflecting can be very powerful. Not only does it show you have listened with empathy, but it allows the other person to hear their own words and so helps them with processing their emotions. It also ensures that you have understood. Now, still holding back from problem solving, once your colleague has explained the situation and perhaps appears to be in a calmer place, you might ask, "How do you feel now that you've shared that?" For some people, the act of sharing is enough. They may have been bottling up a feeling and just needed for you to know, and to feel reassured that you are there for them and willing to listen in a non-judgmental way. This, for some, could be the end of the meeting. Others may need more, and at this point you might ask, "Okay, what can we do about this?" Notice the use of "we" in that sentence. You may get an answer such as, "I don't know." Again, don't jump to a telling approach just yet. Perhaps ask, "If I had come to you with this challenge, what advice would you give me?" You may find that you get some suggestions at this point, but sure enough you may also get, "I don't know." At this point, still resist the urge to tell. Instead, offer a choice. You might say, "Well, I think there are a couple of options. Share these and ask, which do you think would be best?" By doing this, you're encouraging your colleague to take some control. They are making a choice. They are more involved, and when, with your support, it works out, will feel more resilient and have greater self-efficacy as a result. At the appropriate time, recap on what you have discussed or agreed, and ask your colleague for their reflections on the meeting. Once again, ask, "How are you feeling now that we've discussed this?" Depending on their answer, you may have done enough, or they may want to check in with you again at an agreed time. You might want to tell them about other help and support that's available, such as the Education Support Helpline on 08000 562 561. When the meeting finishes and your colleague leaves the room, allow yourself a few moments to breathe and reflect. Check in with yourself and the impact of the meeting on you. You have just given energy and time to another, so don't forget to care for yourself and allow small moments for you to recharge. You can find the toolkit at educationsupport.org.uk/dealingwithchallenge.